exploring an old abandoned railroad line. There's an old railroad bridge built in 1886, I believe, and that's where we're going. I don't know if you can see in the background behind me, there's the river there. So let's get going. We're gonna head down in here. Got about probably half-mile walk. I'm gonna start walking on this old rail bed here, and yeah, I don't know how thick it's gonna be back here. It looks like it looks pretty thick. I don't know if we can get through. Might have to go walk around the outside of it on the farm fields instead of busting through this brush. Let's go take a look. Oh, that's thick. That is thick. I think we're gonna head to the outside here. Alright, we'll walk the edge here for a little while so we can make some progress. I can see something down here a little bit already. Right there. Can't tell what that is yet. From what I've read, this line of railroad was built in 1886 and has a long set of trestles leading up to the bridge, because this is all floodplain here. So I think they had to elevate the tracks so that when the floods came, the water could pass underneath the tracks. The railroad that owned this, and still owns it, actually, they still own the strip of land, is the Illinois Central Railroad. I looked it up. I think they're based in Canada, actually, nowadays anyway. You can kind of get an idea of where the railroad line was here. I'm standing next to it here, and here's this this elevated portion right here is where the tracks would have been. Really thick brush growing up on that rail platform, so I'm gonna keep walking along the edge here. Okay, it looks like I'm coming up on the trestles here that lead up to the bridge now. So let's walk up there and see what it's like. I don't know if I'm gonna walk on the old railroad path or not. I'll see what it looks like. I just found this bottle lodged up underneath this uprooted tree here. Kind of interesting that it still has the cap on it. It's empty, but the cap is still on it. But let's see, what does this say here? Falstaff. Let's hear some words down here. No deposit. No refill. Keep America beautiful. 15. Huh. I've never heard of Falstaff. Somebody out there watching this knows what this is. Feel free to let me know in the comments. I might have to look this up when I get home. From what I could see from up on the road, it looked like these trestles go for a long ways. I'm probably at least a quarter mile, maybe more, from the river yet. It goes a long ways. Not sure if I should walk down here alongside of it or go up top. I think I'm gonna go up top, see what that looks like. I don't know if I want to walk on that or not. There could be a hole anywhere just covered up with leaves. I think it would be a bad idea. There's a hole right there. Who knows how many holes out there are I could step in and break my leg. Looks like I'm going to be walking alongside of it or underneath it here. We'll keep moving. Probably more to see underneath anyway. As you can see, it's not safe to walk on. I just picked up a log and was able to just smash it right through a board, a rotten board that was there. I'm not going to walk on that stuff. I'll fall right through. I was able to pull out a nail. I just grabbed it and wiggled it, came right out. This thing is rotten. I wish I could walk on it, but not gonna happen. There's the log that I was just jammed it right through the wood. Okay, I'm gonna keep this nail though. A little souvenir. Pretty cool. Interesting looking container. Oh, it's a fire extinguisher. Sentry. And from what I read online, the Department of Transportation says that this bridge, or this rail line was, sorry about that. This rail line, the Department of Transportation said that this rail line was still in operation all the way until the 1970s when it was abandoned. So from 1886 to 1970 something, almost 100 years, this trains ran along this line. That's the condition of the wood right now. It's really rotten. Looks like it's a bolt that goes through, and another piece of steel down here for an anchor. I had to keep the board from splitting, that tie from splitting. Interesting that this tie has it has branches. Like it's just a straight up tree that they use to make this trestle. This one's kind of loose. Gosh, I really like to take one of these big bolts home. That'd be cool. Let's see if I can find a loose one. These are in there. Some of these rocks that they use to make the foundation of this trestle. It must be some kind of shale or something that got layers. Well, anyway, I was able to break off a couple layers. You can see fossils in there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, a little shell. I think that's what it is anyway. And I saw this place from the road. kind of last fall, maybe around September or so. It was, I could barely see any of it. It was mostly covered with foliage, and the trees around here all had leaves still, and I could barely see any of it. I just could tell that there's some kind of man-made shape back in here. And for some reason, when I saw it before, I thought it was something made out of concrete. It's a wood trestle. That one's really gone. There's another one that's really far gone there. You can tell by the lines on the poles there's standing water here for quite a while this summer. Well, it looks like this trestle doesn't go all the way to the river. It ends right here and then goes back to just elevated land. So this must have been an area where the river came out of its banks and flowed through here. Probably an old river channel. Still a low point where the floodwaters go. I'm going to keep going down to that bridge. There might be more trestles down farther yet too. We're still quite a ways away from the river yet. Let's see what the track bed looks like now. See if we can get up on there. Well, we're getting closer to the river. As I'm getting closer to the river, it's opening up a little more, not as thick. There's the river right there. This is a big bend in the river, so I think got a little ways to go yet. Oh, it's just a cooler. Yeah, it's just a cooler. Nothing in it. Darn it. Thought maybe I found a bunch of nice fishing tackle. They're just a cooler from a river tuber. Well, folks, I don't think I'm going to be walking out on this thing. Something about falling to your death onto a bunch of ice or into a bunch of icy water just doesn't sound very good. The wood looks really rotten. It's green. All sorts of moss overtaking this wood here. I mean, I think it's only a matter of time before the elements take this thing down. eventually. 1886 is when this was built, though. So it stood for about 130 years, a little more than 130 years. Who knows how long it'll still be here. I'm gonna go up, see if I can get underneath of it. We'll take a look at the underside. And I'll go out onto it a little bit here. This is only 6 or 8 feet off the ground right here, but they still left all the little plates with the spikes in them. They were part of what held the rails down. Yeah, this wood is just rotten. Look at this one. Look how rotten that is. There's literally stuff growing out of the cracks of it. The thing is, this is all wood. This frame here is all wood. If there were some steel beams underneath the wood, I might consider walking on it, but it's all wood, so which means it's all rotten wood. So I'm gonna go down here underneath and let's see what we can find interesting down there. Sorry about the sun here. It's a sunny day. Haven't had one of those in like a week. As you can see underneath here, up there is where I was standing just a minute ago. And that's just 2 real big heavy beams of wood underneath there, and those are pretty darn rotten as well. The river comes from that direction, flows here this way. You can see all this flood debris piled up here. That's probably what's going to take out this bridge eventually. Flood throwing a bunch of logs against these piers. I would love to walk out on the ice and look at the bridge out there from underneath, but nope. I got open water right there. Did find a piece of rail here. It's tacked up along the side of this post that's holding up the bridge. Not sure what's up with that, but I don't know if you can see it down there. Right there. It does say 1910. So that's pretty cool. These washers on here are kind of interesting. Have some markings on there. St. Louis malleable. I can't read what that says. Yeah, they've got pieces of rail tacked along the poles here on this side of the bridge. Not sure why. Just this side. Sure it was for a reason. Those pieces of rail actually say Illinois Central on them. At least this one does. Must have been, this one here says 1927. These two say 1910 on them. Came downstream a little bit just to see the bridge in its entirety. See in the middle there's still some ties in the middle. A couple of them are hanging off the edge. Well, that's going to conclude the abandoned railway tour for today. It's kind of fun going out here and finding these old relics, you know. It's cool to look at. This one, not a lot to see here today other than just the bridge and the old rail path and the trusses, which is just kind of cool. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.